Greetings, acolytes of the Force, and welcome back to our archives. I have been expecting you. EXAR KUN is one of the single-handedly most ferocious lightsaber duelists in all of Star Wars, highly acclaimed, possessing such accolades as possibly even having the ability to defeat the entire Jedi Order if they came to duel him, utterly decimating his Jedi Master after he dipped into the dark side, and being one of the most powerful Sith in history. But there is more to the fascinating tale of EXAR KUN, one of the most ferocious and powerful Dark Lords to ever live, and once the strongest among them. EXAR KUN actually came into contact with renowned Jedi Grandmaster and the most powerful Jedi of all time in Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker established his Jedi Order on the planet of Yavin 4 in the beginning, just a few years after the events of the Battle of Endor, seeing the defeat of Darth Sidious and his apprentice Darth Vader, and the supposed end for the entirety of the Sith lineage. But, as we know, darkness always finds a way to reignite itself, and unlike the light, cannot be smothered. So, let us journey into the depths of Yavin 4, a search through the jungles and dense forests it contains, and find the legend depicting how EXAR KUN met with Luke Skywalker and his Jedi pupils. Our story picks up a few years after the Battle of Endor, where a young KUN, in his spirit form, still possessed great power from beyond the grave. During the era of the Galactic Civil War, KUN made a link with a young Force-sensitive man named Gantaris, a native of the remote world of EXAR. KUN began to appear in his dreams as apparitions of the Force, with Gantaris perceiving the fallen Dark Lord as a dark man who he believed would offer him incredible secrets and knowledge before destroying him. In 11 ABY, Gantaris was recruited by Jedi Grandmaster Luke Skywalker, who was scouring the galaxy in search of prospective apprentices for his new Jedi Order, and to teach him the Jedi arts. Although Gantaris initially believed Skywalker to be the Dark Man, he eventually allowed Skywalker to train him in the Jedi ways. As it happened, Skywalker deducted Yavin 4 as the place where he would train his first class of Jedi Initiate, creating the initial defense line of acolytes amongst the ruins of KUN's temples. It would not be long before Gantaris and his fellow Jedi prospects stumbled across the temple of EXAR KUN, immediately identifying it as a site of great power. Only Skywalker, a seasoned Jedi Master, could discern its immense dark side signature. While Gantaris and the other apprentices learned Skywalker's Jedi praxis, KUN again began to speak to Gantaris in his dreams, secretly instructing the man on how to build and construct his own lightsaber, and driving the Padawan towards the allure of the dark side. KUN also began to influence the other inhabitants of Yavin 4, at one point appearing in the dreams of Luke Skywalker himself, trying to persuade the Jedi Master to study the heritage of the Sith, under the guise of Skywalker's father. With the several prospective Jedi students now inhabiting Yavin 4, KUN saw an opportunity to lure them to the darkness, just as he had with his Brotherhood of Sith, and turn them into a new Force-wielding dark side army. He started his attempt with Gantaris, although met with some resistance. KUN succeeded in pushing Gantaris to give in to his new anger and rage after showing the apprentice a vision of his people being massacred by numerous Imperial forces at the new colony on Dantooine. Enraged, Gantaris attempted to attack KUN's shadow, only for the former Dark Lord to obliterate him. Gantaris' incinerated body was discovered by his fellow students the following morning. Although Gantaris was obliterated, KUN soon found another target, the renowned Jedi Master and one of the most powerful Jedi of all time, Kip Duron, a new arrival to the Jedi Praxian, a young man who had spent most of his life imprisoned in the spice mines of Kessel, and who had swiftly outpaced the rest of Skywalker's apprentices. Immensely talented in the Force, and driven by an all-consuming desire to destroy the Empire that had imprisoned him, Duron was frustrated with the slow pace of Skywalker's lessons, and allowed KUN to teach him his secrets. KUN showed Duron the path to the Temple of EXAR KUN, previously rediscovered by Gantaris and Stream, and Duron immediately made his way to the structure alongside his companion, Dorsk 81. KUN used the Force to put Dorsk 81 to sleep once the pair were inside, and proceeded to teach the awestruck Kip Duron, who wanted nothing more than the power to defeat the Empire single-handedly, the history and ways of the ancient Sith Lords. Emboldened by KUN's teachings, Duran began to rebel against Skywalker, whom he believed was a weak, insignificant, and indecisive, and not committed to destroying the Imperial threat and remnants that had recently reared its head yet again under the command of Admiral Natasi Dala. Although Duran was still wary of KUN, he soon fled Yavin 4 in a stolen starship, and after searching for relics of fallen Sith Lord Darth Vader on Endor, the young apprentice proclaimed himself to be the new Lord of the Sith. Duran promptly returned to Yavin 4, and with KUN's aid, Duran used the Force to bring forth the Imperial superweapon known as the Sun Crusher, from inside the gas giant Yavin Prime, where it had been secretly concealed away. Skywalker was stunned at Duran's fall, and although he had been attempting to convince Duran to turn away from the dark side, KUN revealed himself and aided his young apprentice in attacking and overwhelming the Jedi Master. As Duran left Yavin 4 behind aboard the Sun Crusher, Skywalker was left in a semi-comatose state, his spirit sundered from his still-living body. Pushed fully to the dark side, Duran used the Sun Crusher to destroy the planet Cardia, home to the Imperial Military Academy. But while Duran was on his rampage, KUN was still at work, just as he had with Gantros and Duran, who began influencing another of Skywalker's Jedi prospects. This time it was Streen, a former Tibanna prospector from Bespin, who had joined the Order to calm his powerful innate force empathy. Although Streen was already accustomed to hearing the thoughts of others, KUN's constant whispers drove the grizzled man into a furious panic. KUN attempted to influence the Jedi apprentice and former New Republic ace starfighter pilot Corran Horn to turn to the dark side and murder Skywalker, but was not able to affect the Corellian. The two would clash again when Horn intruded upon KUN's temple. After Horn mocked KUN, the former Dark Lord sent the pilot flying from the structure, shattering the man's arm. KUN would also confront Skywalker's spirit, which had remained in the presence of his students and family who had rushed to his side, with the former Dark Lord proclaiming that he would destroy Skywalker's body and doom the Jedi Master to a fate untethered to the physical world. After KUN issued his threat, he put Streen into an unconscious trance, driving the man to try to kill his master, fellow apprentices Kirana T, and managed to stop him, and Streen soon snapped out of his state. KUN next sent battle hydras, descended from some of his alchemical creations during his lifetime, to attack Skywalker, only for Skywalker's spirit to guide the hand of his young nephew, Jason Solo, next to be known as Darth Kaitis, to battle like a master swordsman and foil KUN's schemes. His attempts on Skywalker's life were unsuccessful. KUN continued to harass and taunt the Jedi Master's vague spirit, even while Skywalker's students plotted to destroy the Dark Man. But for all of KUN's bravado, he was unable to overcome the collective will of the Jedi Order. When KUN next attempted to drive Streen to murder his master, he found his attempts to influence the man repelled, as the rest of Skywalker's students gathered to stand against him. With increasing desperation, KUN attempted to weaken the Jedi by driving at their failures and many insecurities, but it was met only with resolve and confidence. As the synergy between the Jedi grew, images of Luke Skywalker and the long-dead Vodo Sios Bas appeared. After 4,000 years, Master Bas proclaimed KUN was defeated, just as he had promised before his former apprentice struck him down on the Senate floor. Once the scene had reached a fever pitch, Streen and T crossed lightsabers within KUN's shadowy body, extinguishing the Dark Man's spirit and banishing him for good. The power of EXAR KUN is not to be understated, and I will certainly be making a video covering his incredible, formidable lightsaber skills, force prowess, and why, in my opinion, he is in the top 10 most powerful Sith of all time, just below renowned duelist Tulak Horde. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this new installment into our archives. Be sure to visit the Temple of Yavin 4 if you wish to devour more knowledge on the dark side for yourself. I'll see you in a galaxy far, far away, acolytes. And watch your mind for the corruptive influence of a Sith Lord.